Turn back the clock more than 1,300 years, and you would find yourself in the golden age of the Tang Dynasty. At that time, Chang'an was one of the largest cities in the world. People admired beauty and celebrated prosperity. Camel caravans carrying merchants from distant lands moved through the bustling streets, while melodies from Central Asia blended with traditional Chinese music. The Da Ming Palace, covering more than 4 times the area of today's Forbidden City, stood as a magnificent symbol of the Tang Empire's wealth, confidence, and power. Yet after more than 1,000 years of wind and rain, almost everything has vanished. Today, only 3.5 Tang Dynasty wooden structures still survive.